Right, so I want to do a wee talk on the difference in the last 2 decades, the devastation that I've saw, what I would call the Titanic of all drugs, which would be crack cocaine. Because once you go on that fucking shit, man, you're fucking that, you and your full crew, or you and your fucking every asset is going to fucking sink. It's as simple as that. I'm going to give you a prime example, something I witnessed with my own eyes, with a guy that literally lost everything, and it seemed like overnight. It wasn't overnight, but it was in the space of months. For what he lost, it was overnight, in a way. It was a guy who I grew up with. Well, saying that, he's about 14 years older than me, so maybe 13 years older than me anyway, at least. So when I was maybe 15 years old, I was cutting about with him, right? One of the coolest guys going about, everybody liked him, everybody respected him, very good job. I'm not going to say too much about him in case somebody watches the video from my area, okay, and just for respect for his family, but all his family know it anyway. But everybody knows the shit he's done, but I'm not going to say his name, right? But anyway, he's inside now. Very good friend of mine, but I can't wait. I went after him for a good reason, because when he's in prison, I've always done a lot to make sure he's always alright, and he's always says he's my uncle, and he's always been safe and sound, he's always been well respected, and folks looked after him. He can look after himself, but folk from other places, and especially the Glasgow area, a lot of the Glaswegians couldn't really take to him because he's awfully loud. But when he told me he was my uncle, because I was quite close to all these, I had good associates in Glasgow, then he was safe. But after that, I love him. But that's another story what I'll tell you about why the reason. I kind of dislike him a wee bit. I still love him, but I don't like him to a certain degree for good reasons, right? But it's a love-hate relationship between me and him. So back in maybe the mid-2000s, me and him were hitting it off, partying, going out clubbing, doing all crazy shit, enjoying life, loving life, great tunes, always had nice clothes, always had what we wanted. And life couldn't be any better at that time. I'm young. I think I'm in the prime of my life, which I was only a young kid. But going to the clubs, getting all this attention, thinking life was great. Right? But all we're doing is putting white powder up our noses, that's all we're doing. Right? Partying and having fucking good fun. Then I went to a pub. It was a wee club, and a DJ was playing that I knew. His cousin was up from South London. I've had to meet the cousin, the DJ, through the back of the club, and done something for him. He's came back out to me. He basically says to me, Ken, what's this? Ken, how do you joke about it? I'm not going to say what it was at the time. I'm not going to say right now what it was, but I'll call it dice, right? It was the dice. Once you roll that dice and you roll that dice, you're fucked. Put it that way. This is going to be the moral of the story in 2 minutes. So bear with me. So he says to me, listen, who's your guy? Put me on to him if you want. I can take you to South London, blah blah blah. So I gave my mate a shout. He's fucking dancing like a fucking, he's a blue silent jacket on to dish from him, his silver badge. He's doing this mad groovy dancing, disco dancing, and he's got a pint of tumbling this evening. He's trying to balance two fucking cups of Bacardi and cola, and I'm like, Mia. So he's walked there. I'm like, this fucking cunt's from South London. His eyes just got up. The first thing he's thinking is what I'm thinking. South London, right? Obviously, my uncle's in London, 25 year. That's why I say I used to go to London quite often. I've got a lot of good friends in London. So the guy's like, I'll take you to London, South London, and I'll get you sorted out this merchandise. So my work was like, right, cool. When are you going back down? This is on a Friday night or Saturday night. He said, I'm going back down to Saturday week. So I got a phone call Monday afternoon. I'm kind of staying at this point, back and forth, and he's a bungalow, cracking, sinking bath, fucking back then, sinking bath, he just came out. It was cool as fuck in his house, cat's eyes. It was like a disco, and his living room was like a fucking mini club. That's what it looked like at night time. It was a wee club, as if we were a nightclub, right? So, well, his dad was a builder, Ken. His dad built fucking villages in South Africa. So he phones me up, he's like, right, I'm a ride into London, kid. And I was like, you're drunk? Like, nah, he says, I've got a 20k there, we're going to do to London, blah, blah, blah. So he phones me up later on that night. On my way back up to London, he said, I had to tell you, I'm going to have a heart attack. I said, what's that? He's like, I fucking went and tried a part to say that shit, and the South one was telling me, don't ken that'll bust your heart, blah, blah, blah. So he couldn't wait to get back up. Now, crack cocaine wasn't very big at the time. I only knew half a dozen people had done it. And the half dozen folk that I knew had done it were big ballers, big spenders. One, he's in big business, monoblock and shit like that. Very professional mindset, business mindset, but then again, obviously, obviously son wasn't right there, wasn't wired up right to be smoking crack so much, and I can't talk right because I done it myself at a younger age. So he comes up, and now money was an issue, nothing was an issue. We were on top of the game, and then he phones me up. He's like, "Quick, kid, you've got to come down. You've got to try this shit." So I goes into the house. He's sitting there. There's a traveller lassie sitting opposite him, and I went in, and none of them could even speak, but they just looked completely high, completely wired, and completely loving it, right? And when I say they can't speak, I meant like they were just that numb. So he's passed me the shit out of bum. It was dice, proper real C double C, right? Cocaine. So I just knew for the minute that night went on, I saw how addictive it got straight away. The following day, it was like bun, same again. We never noticed, too blind to see it at the time. 3 or 4 days went by, and it was like things started going a bit tits up that fast, right? It was like we just couldn't stop. We just could not stop. I was still making cash. He was just sitting at the table. I was getting picked up, going out grafting, pulling the cash. A couple of weeks went by, everyone's on the suite, and then I can remember we went down to the last, what was it, the last 4.5 sips, right? And I went in and gave a few K, and it would not part with nothing. That's all we've got left, kid, that's all we've got left. I'm like, and what? He's like, we need this. Lock the doors, shut the curtains, lock the windows, make sure everyone's locked up. I got paranoid thinking to myself, 4.5 sips, you know what I part with any of that? Ken, that's like you're talking like 10 grand at least, minimum. And you know what I part with that? That's how addicted this shit got. Now, I can remember saying back then, now cut long story short, that guy lost everything. The South Londoners made him sell his bungalow, his son's van, taking the lot off him, basically overnight, right? I got done with an attempted murder, with self-defence. I had to get a ferry for Port Glasgow, and then go to Rossi Island, called Rossi. I was there for 10 months till my trial came up. It was for self-defence in our family, but you got off, it was a self-defence, right? But